This boat should be flying into the air in 1 second. In the real world, a tornado over water is a death sentence, but in Farming Simulator 25, physics can be questionable, so what's it gonna be this time? Over the last few days, I've been testing the most absurd myths in this game, from silage bales sunk in a lake, to immortal machines and tractors that supposedly upgrade themselves for free when you drown them, all the way to spectacular car crashes. So buckle up, because this is gonna be a really crazy episode. Will a bale ferment underwater? In theory, it's wrapped in foil, so there shouldn't be any problem. So I made a nice bale and then sunk it in the water together with the tractor just to be sure it was really deep. After 1 day, it was at 50% fermentation, and after 2 days, it had turned into a fully fermented silage bale. Myth busted. Water does not stop fermentation. Alright, the bale has no problem staying underwater, even if it can't swim. But can horses swim? From what I've managed to find out, it's actually a natural skill for them. So let's see how well that's been recreated in Farming Simulator. I built a horse pen and then bought a black stallion. Supposedly they swim the best, although I totally made that up. What we're really checking is whether the actual swimming ability, the one that's not made up, works in the game. Unfortunately, the game decided that this was also a lie because the horse disappeared as soon as I drove into the water. It turned out he simply teleported back to the pen. Since I didn't have the interface turned on, I decided to drive into the water again to see what message would pop up, and it turned out to be exactly the same as for vehicles. Myth busted. Horses in the game cannot swim. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen a swimming horse in real life. It's time to check whether the bale wrapper keeps wrapping after you detach it from the tractor. This is interesting because it might not even be a bug. It already worked like this in Farming Simulator 19 and 22. If it still works now, it means the devs treat it as a feature, not a bug. Let's find out. I mowed some grass in a meadow, made a bale, and then the big moment came. What's gonna happen? It turned out the devs really did treat this as a proper game feature because the bale, just like for many years now, keeps wrapping even after you detach the tractor from the wrapper. Myth confirmed. Another question popped into my head. What can actually stop the wrapper from finishing its job? If detaching the tractor isn't enough, maybe selling it will do the trick, or maybe the bale will disappear together with the wrapper. Let's find out. I grabbed another bale, and as soon as it got caught in the jaws of the wrapper, I quickly jumped into the shop and sold it. To my surprise, the bale not only stayed on the field, it was also left half wrapped. I have to admit, it looks impressive. It seems that a grass bale and a silage bale are not two separate bales, but actually the same bale that is being wrapped in foil piece by piece, which does make sense. Although we should remember that in this game, the wrapper keeps working even after being detached. So if we sell the wrapper while it is wrapping, we end up with this kind of half-wrapped grass bale. But the question is it still a grass bale? I walked up to check and the info was clear. It is still a grass bale. Either way, myth busted because the bale does not disappear after selling the wrapper. Can we still upgrade a drowned tractor for free? In Farming Simulator 22, there was a bug that let you upgrade tractors for free. If you drowned a tractor, then pulled it out and upgraded it. For example, by changing the engine, the game would reject the configuration and not charge you anything. But after resetting the tractor, the configuration was fully applied, as if you had paid for it. So let's see if that has been fixed. We are obviously doing this with no mods, so instead of a tow rope, I used this little trailer, onto which I loaded the smallest tractor in the game, and I loaded it using this beast of a machine, which should have no problem handling it. I loaded it up without any major issues and headed to the place I had prepared earlier, where driving into the water was easy and I already had a workshop set up. Once I arrived, I carefully backed the tractor into the water. And here we already have something new in Farming Simulator 22. If you did not drive the tractor into the water yourself but pushed it in with another vehicle, then until you got into it, the tractor was not considered drowned. Here it is different. I could not get into it at all, so the game immediately treated it as submerged. Even so, I pulled it out carefully and drove onto the workshop trigger, where to my surprise, the game did charge the fee for the upgrade. So the myth is busted, the bug has been fixed. A little fun fact to finish, even after upgrading the tractor and paying for it, the tractor water is still treated as drowned and you cannot get into it. Can you still bug the self-propelled mower to make it drive at max speed? In Farming Simulator 22, all you had to do was double tap the folding button while mowing and the mower would shoot up to its maximum speed. Let's see if that was a glitch or some kind of hidden feature. I hopped into the mower, started cutting, and the first attempt failed. Maybe I clicked too slowly? The second attempt also didn't work. Even with a double tap, the mower just folded normally. Maybe it's a controller issue. Although in Farming Simulator 22, it worked both on controller and keyboard, so I tested it again on keyboard. And unfortunately, the third attempt was another failure. It seems this wasn't a hidden feature at all, just a regular bug. Myth busted. Can you still drive outside the map? As you know, normally you can't leave the map, unless there's some tiny gap in the invisible wall, but that's not what this myth is about. This one is a callback, or rather a remake, of a classic from Farming Simulator 22, where if you loaded a vehicle onto a train, you could drive outside the map. So the question is, did they fix it or does it still work? Just like in Farming Simulator 22, I won't use any mods to avoid affecting the result. For the test, I chose the map from the newest DLC. If it doesn't work here, we'll repeat it on the base map. If it does work, we can safely assume it works on the vanilla maps too. We're loading the mower onto the train because it's the smallest vehicle in the game, as far as I know. And to actually get it up there, we'll use this beast of a machine. It took a bit of maneuvering to grab the mower in its claws, but after a moment I managed. Then I drove to the loading point and without much trouble placed the mower on the wagon. I strapped it down and tested it a bit to make sure it was secure, just in case. Once I was confident everything was fine, I hit the tracks. But a new worry showed up. The mower started wobbling strangely and it felt like it would launch off the wagon at any moment. It also stuck out slightly on the side and even scraped something once. So I thought the mission would fail before I even tried leaving the map. Luckily, we made it without disaster. As we approached the edge of the map, I was unsurprisingly thrown out of the train. I quickly jumped into the mower to see what was happening, and it turned out that after a short battle with the invisible wall, it actually managed to get outside the map. Myth 100% confirmed. And what's beyond the map? In short, absolutely nothing. Still, I'm left wondering why the train slams into the map border instead of teleporting to the other end. But hey, it's a pretty fun experience. Can an accident actually happen in the game? I'm not talking about a situation where we crash into some car, but a real accident, where two AI traffic vehicles collide all by themselves. Most of you would probably say in unison, no, that's impossible. But this time, I'm going to surprise you. While I was recording this episode, I randomly witnessed exactly that situation. You could easily call it an accident, even though technically it was just a game bug or a badly set traffic path. But the fact is, the cars literally drove into each other. Nothing fell off, nothing broke, but the collision was absolutely real. Let me know in the comments who you think had the right of way. Either way, myth confirmed. So, it's time for the title myth. Can a tornado pick up a boat? Or actually, we should start with a different question. Does a tornado even spawn over water in the first place? I've never seen a real-life tornado myself, so I'm really curious about your answers in the comments. Do such massive air vortices also happen over water? Anyway, in the game, all you have to do is type in the right command and the tornado appears exactly where you want it. First, I bought a big boat, that huge one that takes half an hour to speed up, and I wasn't sure if I'd make it into the tornado before it disappeared. But I did, and I don't know if it's its weight or just a complete lack of physics, but the boat didn't even budge. Luckily, we also have a smaller boat available, and in the real world, it wouldn't stand a chance against a tornado. It would just get blown away. So let's see what happens in the game. Boat bought, tornado spawned, time to head straight into the middle. When I drove into the tornado, things got a bit hard to see. So I quickly jumped out, and while I was at it, I lowered the mast to make it easier to judge the physics. But from the outside, it looked like the tornado couldn't care less about the boat. No movement, no effect, zero physics. Myth busted. The tornado cannot pick up a boat. Drop your own myths for the next episode in the comments, hit subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming videos, and see you soon.